70% of what you pay for a premium garden tool brand does not go to steel grade, handle material, or construction tolerance. It goes to retail placement, lifestyle photography, and a logo that a parent company acquired for under $50 million dollars and has been monetizing at a 400% markup ever since. 8 brands in this category. 5 whose price is built on retail infrastructure, heritage branding, and marketing budgets that dwarf their material costs. 3 where your money actually goes to the tool itself, the steel, the construction, and in one case, a guarantee that has outlasted most of the companies on this list. Starting at number 8 with a brand whose composition tells a very different story from its price tag. Number 8, Ames sets the stage for what this entire first half of the ranking is about. A standard Ames digging fork retails in the range of $30 to $45, which sounds reasonable until you look at what you are actually buying. Ames operates under Griffon Corporation, a conglomerate that also holds True Temper, the budget line you will find on the shelf directly below it at the same retailer. Both brands share manufacturing infrastructure in the same supply chain. The carbon content of Ames steel runs at a commodity grade typical of mass production, long-handled tools, a specification more consistent with a $10 to $15 production cost than the retail price would suggest. What you are paying for is retail positioning, end cap placement, and a name that Griffin inherited when it absorbed the brand. The result, you are not buying a better digging fork. You are buying the same fork with a different sticker and a higher shelf. Ames has a pronounced markup for a mass market tool, but among brands that have successfully built a premium identity on top of commodity construction, this is only the beginning. Number 7. Fiskars extends this story into the hand tool category with a sharper price point and a more deliberate design language. Fiskars, pruners, and loppers retail from $25 up to $80 for the premium Quantum line. The Finnish origin story is real. The company was founded in 1649, but the actual manufacturing for the garden tool segment has migrated substantially to facilities in Asia, and the price differential between the entry and premium lines does not map to a proportional difference in blade steel specification or pivot construction. Fiskars is publicly traded on the Helsinki Stock Exchange and reports gross margins in its home and garden segment in the range of 40 to 50%. The orange handle is protected by design patents filed across multiple decades, and that design recognition is itself the primary premium driver. The blade on a $30 Fiskars bypass pruner and a $75 Fiskars pruner are not separated by the same ratio as their prices. You are paying for brand architecture and color trademark. Verdict? The orange handle costs more than the steel behind it. If you think a design trademark on a plastic handle is the most aggressive premium play in this category, the next brand pushes this exact logic one step further. Number 6. Corona Tools takes the markup game further with a trade and professional positioning that commands prices between $40 and $120 for items like bypass pruners and soil knives. Corona has operated in the U.S. market for nearly a century, and the professional framing is real enough that landscapers and nursery buyers have historically defaulted to the name. The parent company is now Woodland Tools, and the manufacturing has shifted progressively to contract production. The professional channel markup structure means a Corona bypass pruner sold through a garden center or agricultural supply retailer passes through a distribution tier that adds between 30 and 50% above the direct cost before it reaches the consumer shelf. The carbon steel specification on standard Corona models is CS10, a widely available commercial grade that is present in tools at a third of the price point when bought through direct channels. What you are paying for is professional channel distribution cost and a legacy brand premium that the current manufacturing no longer fully justifies. For the consumer, the premium is paid for distribution infrastructure, not blade metallurgy. Number 5, DeWitt presents a textbook case of heritage pricing that requires examination. DeWitt is a Dutch brand with genuine hand-forging roots, and the company does still produce some lines with Dutch-style boron steel construction in the Netherlands. A DeWitt hand hoe retails between $60 and $110. The problem is that the product line has expanded well beyond what the Forge and Alkmaar can support at volume, and the lower-tier DeWitt items in the range carry the same provenance narrative as the hand-forged premium pieces without the same construction behind them. Boron steel is a legitimate upgrade from commodity carbon steel, delivering measurably better hardness on the Rockwell scale, but the entry DeWitt items do not consistently use the boron specification across the full range. The brand operates under a logo premium that does not differentiate by product line at the point of sale. The narrative of Dutch craftsmanship sells the entire catalog, including the pieces that do not carry it. Verdict: You are buying a story that applies to some of the tools and not all of them, with no label distinction between the two. Before we continue, you need 3 tests. 3 things you can check before you buy to separate a garden tool that earns its price from one that is trading on a brand name. First, read the steel specification. Look for the words boron steel, high carbon steel, or a Rockwell hardness rating above 50 HRC. Standard commodity steel in mass-produced tools runs below 45 HRC and will lose its edge after 1 season of contact with rocky or clay soil. The difference in edge retention over 2 years is not marginal. It is the difference between a tool you resharpen twice a season and one you resharpen monthly. Second, look at the socket joint or the handle connection. Solid socket construction, where the blade and the socket are forged as one piece, is a measurable mark of quality. Strapped or welded joints on tools above $40 are a signal that the price is not justified by the construction method. Press your thumb against the handle at the joint point. Any movement is a failing result. Third, find the manufacturer, not the brand. Search the brand name alongside the words parent company or manufactured by. If the same holding owns a $60 version and a $15 version, search for both model numbers on import records. The factory address is often identical. Every video on this channel applies these same tests. No brand deals, no sponsorships. If that is useful to you, you know where the button is. Number 4, Wolf-Garten marks the peak of conglomerate pricing strategy in this ranking. Wolf-Garten tools retail between $50 and $160 for items in the modular multi-change system, which uses a proprietary handle-to-head connection mechanism protected by design patents filed in Germany in the early 1980s. Wolf-Garten was acquired by the MTD Group, which also owns Rover, Cub Cadet, and a range of mass-market outdoor power equipment brands. The multi-change system creates a genuine lock-in dynamic. Once a consumer owns the handles, they are economically incentivized to purchase Wolf-Garten heads rather than competitor tools. The actual steel specification on the working heads is not published transparently by the brand, and independent testing has found the hardness to be consistent with production-grade steel rather than the tool-grade specification the price point implies. The licensing and IP structure around the multi-change system means a meaningful fraction of the purchase price is functionally a royalty on a 40-year-old connector design rather than a premium for better steel. The most egregious example in the ranking, you pay a 4-figure investment to complete the system, and the primary thing that separates Wolf-Garten from a $30 tool at the same retailer is a click mechanism, not the blade. Wolf-Garten closes the half where your money goes to the brand. The next one opens the half where it actually goes to the tool. Number 3, Sneeboer stands out as the entry point into genuine value in this ranking. Sneeboer is a Dutch manufacturer producing hand-forged garden tools in Sneek, the Netherlands, at retail prices between $65 and $130. The boron steel specification is consistent across the full product range and is published in the product documentation. Sneeboer tools are not sold through mass retail channels, which eliminates the distribution markup tier that adds 30 to 50% to the price of tools like Corona. The company is family-owned and has operated continuously since 1913, and the forge in Sneek is the same production location documented across the brand's history. An independent wear test comparing Sneeboer trowels against commodity alternatives over 50 uses in rocky soil showed edge retention measurably superior to tools at twice the visual prominence in retail. At this price point, you are paying for boron steel, hand-forged socket construction, and a family operation that has not been absorbed into a conglomerate. Here, the construction is in honest alignment with the price. Number 2, Rogue Hose delivers a level of transparency missing from every brand in the first half of this ranking. Rogue is a U.S.-based manufacturer producing tools in the $60 to $120 range using American-made steel at a specified hardness of 52 to 54 HRC on the Rockwell scale, which the brand publishes on its product pages. Rogue operates on a direct-to-consumer model, selling primarily through its own website and eliminating the wholesale and retail markup tiers that account for a substantial portion of the price differential in mass-market tools. The handle material is American ash, sourced domestically, and the blade-to-socket construction is solid socket forged, not welded or strapped. There are no licensing agreements, no holding company, and no sister brand at a lower price point sharing the same factory. A Rogue collinear hoe used in clay soil over 3 seasons has demonstrated edge retention that matches the published hardness specification. What you pay for is steel, handle material, forge construction, and the absence of intermediaries. Verdict: the price reflects the product, not the packaging. Number 1, Clarington Forge represents the rare case where price actually reflects every criterion this ranking has measured. Clarington Forge is a British manufacturer producing tools in the $80 to $160 range using Sheffield steel, a specification with a documented industrial lineage dating to the 19th century that carries a measurably higher carbon content than commodity production steel. The company is independently owned, manufactures in Staffordshire, England, and publishes its steel sourcing. Clarington Forge tools carry a lifetime guarantee against manufacturing defects, a claim substantiated by a repair and replacement policy that has been honored continuously for decades without the policy being voided through corporate acquisition. There are no retail distribution tiers, no holding company, no cheaper sister brand sharing a factory. The ash handles are fitted and tested individually at the production facility. A documented user community across UK horticultural societies consistently reports Clarington Forge tools lasting 20 to 30 years in active use without structural failure. The price is not a brand premium, it is a material and manufacturing cost that the production method genuinely justifies. Closing this list as the outlier the industry does not want you to know about, Clarington Forge closes the ranking as the one brand in this category where the money trail ends at the tool, not at a marketing budget. Across the 8 brands analyzed, one pattern stands out above the rest. Price in the garden tool category is almost entirely decoupled from steel specification, construction method, and durability. What drives price is distribution channel, brand heritage absorbed through acquisition, and in the most pronounced cases, a proprietary connector system that locks consumers into a catalog rather than rewarding them for the quality of what they already own. In a category this old, the genuinely good tools were built before the conglomerates arrived. The ones that survived under independent ownership did so because the construction made the argument without a marketing department. This channel follows the money, not the market.